Warning, made over 18 months, running 4,200 seconds total. With a unique first-person view, take a secret animal journey to reveal their hidden lives. I used to think curling up tight could block out any storm. But I never knew the deadliest blow came not from wild fangs, but cold numbers on a ledger. Unseen in the night, I slipped through woods, hidden in trees and grass. 80 million years ago, dinosaurs died so mammals rose. I quietly appeared then too. Eras change, landscapes shift, yet I stay the same. Curled tight, moving in silence. Only 8 pangolin species remain. We span African savannas and Chinese hills. The most unique of all is my Chinese pangolin kin. Ancient poets called him Lingli Kama, a gentle ancient name. Our armor guards us and keeps forest peace. In one lifetime, we eat tens of millions of termites, saving nearly 200 acres from erosion. We dig the earth, making soil soft, letting air in and rain soak through. Studies say, where we roam, soil oxygen rises by 12%. We are the forest's silent guardians. To survive, my body evolved. A tongue 1.5 times my body length, flexible like willow, coated in sticky saliva, it scoops up hundreds of ants. My nose and ears have sealable muscular flaps. My eyes have protective membranes, keeping out dirt and bugs while I dig. My proudest feature is my armor, made of keratin, tough as iron. In danger, in just a third of a second, I roll into a tight ball. No beast can bite through. Gentle and peaceful, I leave only tiny tracks. Yet now I know, my true foe was never wild beasts, but humans. I thought my armor protected me, never imagining it's why I'm hunted. Humans claim my scales heal, boost health, and raise vigor, though they're no different from human nails. So I became a tonic, served on plates, crushed for medicine, driven by greed. Ruthless humans mix muscle relaxants into my favorite food to trap me. As my strength fades, I know only the butcher's blade awaits. In just 20 years, 80% of us vanished. A pangolin mother carries her young for 5 months, only to birth one pup. We breed far slower than they hunt us. I truly believed curling tight solved everything. I was wrong. 80 million years of defense couldn't match human greed. Humans rule this world with complex civilization. But have you thought what coexistence means? Or understood true loss? We pangolins refuse to become legends. We are living fossils. Nature's evolutionary miracles. Silent, yet vital to the food web. We never fought fate, nor should we be crushed by human desire. Our existence matters. If the forest falls silent, overrun by pests, soil hardened, cracked, collapsed, I hope you remember a creature once silently guarded this peaceful land. We never sought human space, yet in your world, we were condemned. Remember kind hearts. When buying stops, killing stops. Saving an endangered species preserves Earth's evolutionary memory. Don't wait to read books, weeping as you say. I once saw a pangolin. Even if one taste costs my life, I trade it all. I am the alpine ibex, a daredevil dancer on cliffs. This dam built by humans spans the canyon, hundreds of meters tall and near vertical, a cold cliff dropped by nature, severing the mountain veins. Humans call it an engineering miracle, but in every oozing drop of salt, I smell life's hope. In this harsh, cold land, salt isn't a luxury. It's life's blood. It contracts muscles and sparks nerves. Without it, our limbs go stiff. Kids can't grow. My mother told me, salt is the mountain's gift and its cruelest test. Nature gives nothing free. Every gift carries a cost. We must climb this 90-degree wall to lick the oozing salt, a test of life and death. Dancing with the Reaper, one mistake means falling hundreds of meters to die. But we have our skill. Our hooves are carved by time, soft as rubber inside, gripping every tiny bump. Hard, sharp edges wedge into tiny rock cracks. We move along cliffs, step by step like seasoned dancers. Every breath on the line. I recall when I was a month old, under 5 kilos, shaking legs unready to push, yet following mom up the cliff. For salt builds strong bones. She never looked back, showing no pity, only firm resolve. Then I knew. It wasn't a choice but fate. Backed by millennia of instinct and wisdom, I pressed a hoof into a crack, fitting like precise gears. But even precision fails. As my front hoof slipped, my heart tightened. To us, 90 degrees is a wall, 89 is a slope, so Mom said. Reciting her words, I sought every tiny bump, clinging to the edge. As I edged forward, I began to see. Climbing wasn't so terrifying. Every stone seemed to welcome me. Every sure step whispered in my ear, you can do it. Halfway up, exhaustion hit. Front hoof slipped. Balance lost instantly. 100 meters spun below, wind howling past, death calling. In that moment, Mom blocked me. Her body was firmer than rock. I gasped against her thick coat, heart slowly calming, silent. She nudged me with her hoof, urging me on. Mom's protection always beats danger. I lifted my hoof again, feeling the rock clearer now. Tiny bumps I once ignored became my firmest anchor. Finally, I stood on the salty wall, licking salt off concrete. That salty taste was life blooming from stone. As the salt burst on my tongue, I knew I survived. This salt isn't just food, but proof our herd lives on. Humans may not get why a goat risks everything for a taste of salt. To us, living isn't cozy comfort, but pushing through extremes. We have no retreat, not from bravery, but necessity. Aren't you the same? Perhaps you never stood on a vertical cliff or walked the edge, but haven't you gritted your teeth through fearful moments, fallen, struggled, and risen again, just to win a little dignity? We all climb our own cliffs, the blocked paths, relentless steps, stubborn persistence, not for a grand finish, but to never yield to fate, never bow down, even facing sheer drops. We carve our path to life. The moment I leaped off the cliff, I was ready to die, not to learn to fly, but a drop decreed by fate. To me, life or death. Jumping was my only way out. I am the barnacle goose, a chick born high on East Greenland cliffs. From day one, I stood on the brink of life and death. Our nest sits hundreds of meters up, a safe spot picked by parents, unreachable by predators, yet cutting off our hope to live. A vertical abyss below, while feeding grounds lie 2 kilometers away. Our only hope for survival. I can't fly yet. My weak wings can't hold the wind. But I have no choice. Parents can't carry us, only demonstrating at the cliff edge, pointing wings to distant water. My body's stored energy fades fast. In this freezing world, My nutrients last just a day. Jump for food or die in the nest. Yet jumping might mean quicker death. My big sister jumped first, without hesitation. No struggle. No doubt. As if knowing her fate. Like a fluff ball, she fell into the wind, then slammed into rock. That dull thud chilled me through. She never moved again. A raven saw it all, flew in fast, and snatched her warm body away. Mom gave chase, but could only watch her chick taken, unfazed by sister's fall. Second sister jumped next, far braver than me, only to end up stuck in a crevice. Her struggling cries echoed in the valley, lingering long. Minutes later, silence. Then only I remained. Dad flew off. Mom left too. They knew I must make this leap alone. They wanted me to see. Reliance brings no survival. Independence starts life. Deep breath. I leaped. Wind roared, tearing my downy feathers. Rock spinning fast. I hit the ledge. Bounced. Tumbled. Fell. In that instant, I forgot who I was. But my body recalled parent lessons. At the last second, I balled up, using my soft belly to absorb the impact. Face harsh fate with your softest side. After the third hit, tumbling onto unmelted snow, Dad rushed over. I heard my faint heartbeat, limbs numb, wings bleeding. But I knew I was alive. No time to rest. Distant predators watched, leaving no room to mourn. We had to move on. Mom guarded behind. Dad led ahead. I limped through gravel and ice spikes. Until I saw shimmering water. Life calling. Now, wind wasn't the enemy. It lifted my feathers, soothing my bruised body. In this moment, I truly got what flight meant. Not never falling, but choosing to leap again, after every drop. Some say it's natural selection, fate coded in genes, but I think what kept me alive wasn't superior build, but resolve to open my eyes and face it when broken. A survivor. But not the only one. Every chick landing safely built its path on countless failures. We measure cliffs with our lives. Remember wind ways, giving the next generation more hope. On this peak, flight isn't romantic, but wisdom bought by ancestors falls. Continuation after life and death fights. Flight isn't just soaring high. It's deciding to leap, knowing you might shatter. Every chick that lands safely found a viable path over countless fallen predecessors. With our lives, we measure the cliff face, remember the wind's direction, and leave greater hope for the next generation. Atop this cliff, flight isn't romantic, but wisdom paid for with fall after fall, survival forged through endless struggle. I finally understand, flying isn't just soaring into the sky. It's jumping off the cliff, even knowing you might shatter. Perhaps this is nature's gentlest cruelty, and life's grandest answer. That isn't a spider. It's the viper's tail. The bird died never realizing that plump spider in front of it was a deadly predator's lure. I'm a spider-tailed horned viper. Silent, yet lethal. Humans only recently discovered me, called me a new species, and gave me an Iranian-exclusive name. Truth is, I've been in this hot, barren desert, lurking for centuries. Rocks are my skin, shadows are my allies. If I stay still, nobody can spot me against this bare cliff. But my true weapon isn't venom, it's patience. The bulbous scales at my tail's tip look just like a plump spider. Those flared scales, when wiggled, dance like spider legs, bursting with life. To weary, exhausted travelers. It's a gift from above. Days in the Iranian desert are scorching. Jagged rocks line the wasteland, seemingly devoid of life, but in the canyon's shade. A few tough trees survive. Branches drooping, rare green foliage. This tiny shade is a vital stop for migratory birds. I knew this long ago, so I lay in wait early. Soon, a shrike landed in the shade. He came from Africa, traveled far, without proper food for days. He was a hunter, infamous and deadly, known to impale prey on thorns. But even brutal predators underestimate fate. Starving, he saw my tail, mimicking a spider crawling out, hunting for food. He swooped in, driven by hunger and greed. I waited for this exact moment. His first strike missed. I moved but held back. He thought he misjudged, thought it was an illusion. After all, hunger plays tricks. He dived again. This time I bit without mercy. Precision strike right on his head. Venom injected like fire. He struggled and screamed, flapping his wings to break free. But I knew that single drop was enough to end him. He'll collapse on a rock, awaiting my arrival. In this desert, hunter and prey swap roles constantly. True hunters don't win by force, but by silent deception, disguising themselves as tempting illusions. Using temptation as bait, I'm not alone. Far away in North America lives another trickster, the spicebush swallowtail caterpillar. At birth, it's tiny, easy prey for any bird. So, pretend to be bird poop. Yes, you heard right. That exact gross stuff. Color, texture, feel. Even the sheen is copied perfectly. Looks disgusting, but beats any armor. Birds naturally avoid waste, steering clear of it. So it sits on leaves, eating 1.5 times its weight daily, growing in peace. In just 2 days, its size quadruples, looking like bloated bird droppings. But it soon realized this disguise wasn't enough, so it changed tactics. Secretes silk, carefully pulling leaf edges together, tightening them, wrapping itself in a green leaf shelter. This becomes its incubator. Soon after, it undergoes its first molt, not into a butterfly yet, but a chubby green caterpillar. This new look, cute as it seems, is easier to spot. Sure enough, a bird spotted it. Time for disguise number 2. It slowly raised its head, revealing 2 dark head spots, resembling snake eyes. Tried its best to look like a fierce little snake. The bird paused, wary, but didn't leave. So it unleashed its ultimate trick. Hiss! It shot out 2 orange forked organs, rapidly extending from its head, just like a snake tongue. A threat signal. The ultimate illusion. The bird finally retreated, survived once more. In nature, we aren't villains. We're just trying to survive. Turning deception into art, and camouflage into a weapon. In nature's law, trickery isn't malice, it's wisdom. Camouflage isn't weakness, it's power. I'm the spider-tailed horned viper. Lies are my blade. Silence is my shield. I'm a hunter and a master of illusion. By the time you spot me, it's already too late. Without food or water, I can survive a whole year. I'm a Galapagos tortoise. Volcanoes and ocean currents created these islands and birthed our slow, ancient kind. My shell is old and heavy, like weathered tree rings on rock. Every groove is time's own carving. On this land baked by equatorial sun, we've lived for millions of years. We walk slowly, but never stop. Massive as boulders, silent as fallen wood. Humans call us living fossils. You humans often say we have superpowers, surviving without food or water for up to a year. It's no miracle, just survival wisdom, evolved over ages. My metabolism is like cooled lava, Slow, steady, nearly still. Every bite, every drop is carefully stored as life-saving reserves for droughts. When droughts hit and plants die, we burrow deep into mud, shutting down needs, sleeping like rocks, relying on stored water and energy, waiting for rain. This exact ability made us tough travelers on ocean currents. I remember my mother whispering, our ancestors drifted from distant continents, following currents to these isolated islands. A silent migration. No battles. No noise. Just slow, steady destiny. Back then, islands were paradise with no predators. Gentle breezes, green grass. An eternal sun behind the clouds. We live long lives. Up to 200 years. In these long years, we've seen mountains rise, volcanoes fall silent, stars shift, and humans arrive. But longevity doesn't mean safety. Since humans came, our fate has fractured. The year I was born, my mother made her hardest journey down from volcanic highlands, crawling dozens of kilometers through brush and rock, taking a full month just to reach ancient nesting grounds, warm, dry sand, where ancestors buried hope. But that ancient path is now carved up by humans, farms like scars, tearing the land, barbed wire like blades, scratching her shell. You might not know, our shell isn't cold armor, it's living. With nerves, feeling pain, every scratch is deep agony. She told me, a century ago, this was just a tortoise trail. Now, endless traffic, burning asphalt, air thick with heat and exhaust. She lowered her head, dodging speeding wheels, like a trembling rock. Inching forward, she said, we live too slowly, and the world changes too fast. In just a century, 90% of us vanished. It wasn't war, yet felt like doom. Still she reached the sand. At sunset, using heavy front legs, she dug the earth step by step, painfully, slowly, laying 16 white eggs. No nest, no protection, left to the wind, sun and soil, to nature and fate. For months later, I hatched. Just 6 centimeters, soft as a fallen leaf, yet eyes full of grit. Our generation faces heat from birth, predators and climate shifts. Plains are 2 degrees warmer than a century ago. Yet we take that first step without hesitation, through brush and stone, toward the future. Slow but unstopping, ancient but unyielding. In the gaps of time, we press on, guarding a forgotten rhythm for a lifetime. In an era filled with noise and speed, maybe we all should slow down, listen to silent whispers, and see if million-year-old footprints remain. In its final moments, its body began twitching uncontrollably. Pigment cells lost control, bursting into chaotic neon pulses on its skin, a death code written in their genes. Their lifespan is just 1 season, short as a mayfly's fate. Born at dawn, dying at dusk, a speck in the ocean, brief yet brilliant, to fulfill its genetic mission. In such a short life, fresh out of its egg, smaller than a snail shell, it already carries the next generation's eggs before even experiencing the world. Find food within 30 minutes, or starve. Luckily, food is plentiful in the rainforest. Driven by instinct, it spots a fly and snaps its tongue. Instinct tells it, this is prey. Even without parents to teach it, it catches food with ease. With food abundant, and a tongue twice its body length, it catches over 100 flies daily, growing at a crazy speed. In just 2 weeks, it grows 4 times its size. In a dangerous rainforest, even a small mistake could mean death. So even when sleeping, keeps one eye open, staying alert at the slightest movement. Let's go. Free-falling to escape, dodging potential danger. In the jungle, nowhere is completely safe. Being so small, it must always be cautious. It has to endure this. For 4 whole months, then comes its greatest transformation. Its skin turns colorful and dazzling, signaling its countdown has begun. Now through its bulging skin, mature egg sacs are visible. It must race against time to find a mate. A prominent spot, clear of leaves, becomes vital. But such spots are coveted by many, though location matters. Females meeting usually just intimidate, avoiding physical fights, needing to protect their eggs, falling from a tree now could cause a miscarriage. But males can't avoid fighting. To claim territory, they brawl fiercely. It's about passing on genes, so they go all out to settle it. This is their final battle, deciding if their lineage survives. Once a winner emerges, the female mates with him. After a brief mating, the male soon dies. Find the perfect nesting site. Carrying eggs a third of her body weight makes her move slowly. Just then, a 2-meter hognose snake spots her, about to become prey. She acts fast, mimicking a falling leaf swaying constantly. Luckily, the snake isn't interested. After 30 minutes of searching, she finally finds a hidden sunny spot. Her whole life was for this moment. She reaches her final mission, painfully laying 8 white eggs. Exhausted, she still covers them with soil. She finally faced her life's key mission. Exhausted, she laid 8 pure white eggs and kept digging to cover them up, creating one last shield for her young. Her life came to an end. Free from fear at last, she can finally sleep in peace. In her final half hour, her body began to twitch uncontrollably. A sudden current pushed it out of danger. Pigment cells in the skin lose control, triggering a chaotic neon pulse, almost like reflecting on a short life. It's a death code written into their genes, and his peers are just like him, destined to die before the dry season. But before they depart, they've buried millions of cells to carry on. Their lives aren't measured by time. Death isn't the end, but a new beginning. Though brief as a shooting star, they flare brightly in the dark. People call me Sun Wukong's prototype. But I have no golden staff, nor magical transformations. I'm just a golden snub-nosed monkey, struggling to survive winter. Deep in the Qinling Mountains, I was born into an ancient troop. Though I'm still young, this is my second winter here. Frost froze on branches overnight. Snow came earlier this year, and bit much harder. Snowflakes fall silently. Surviving through winter grows longer and harder. Yet even wounded, Father never stops leading us for food. His straight back, like a torch in the storm. In this frozen realm, lights our way ahead. The troop trudges through snow. Father leads the front, holding his bushy tail high, like a golden flag in the wind. We follow him closely, moving through ice and snow, like a drifting golden mist. I can't remember how many journeys this makes. Just the empty stomach, tight with hunger, driven by starvation. But nature shows no mercy. Temperatures drop below -15. Elders huddle close in snowy hollows. Warm bodies stack into a shield, sheltering me at the warm center. Whenever I peek out, I always see that lone figure, watching alone in the wind. That's my father, curled on the highest branch, guarding the whole troop. Wind bends his back, snow coats his fur, carving him into a silver statue. Suddenly I understood why elders yield that branch tacitly. Some heights are meant for leaders alone. As morning light shines again, our troop wakes up. But sunrise brings not hope, but hunger. Frozen paws scrape snow off tundra, searching for a tiny patch of green locked in frost. Lichen is scarce, the only thing left alive. Yet it's far from enough. Elders search desperately, squatting by trunks, scraping for bark with worn teeth, for the tree's last sugars. Wisdom passed down for ages, though not enough to fill us. In this troop, sharing is more than legacy, it's a law in our blood. Father stands on a bare rock, gazing deep into woods. Air turns tense fast. Low noises echo across hills. A rogue monkey troop approaches. Here they come, bandits of the forest, robbing others of life. As like sharp knives, fiercer than fangs, as their king charges toward our feeding spot, Father swoops down the slope. For the first time, I see him bare fierce fangs. A flash of golden light, slagging into invaders, igniting the troops' rage. I know Sun Wukong might just be myth, but right now he stands before me, guiding youth to fight back, shielding front and rear. Mothers guarding babies inside. He fights among branches, roars echoing in woods. Invaders retreat with wails, yet he stays on guard, still holding that dead branch. His bitten tail from the ambush still bleeds, like a trailing red ribbon. He refuses grooming from anyone. Maybe pain keeps him sharp, strengthening his resolve. I jump down the branch, hugging him tight, realizing his golden fur has silver strands mixed in. Father is aging quietly, and I must grow up fast. He protected my youth. I'll protect his old age. We are spirits of snow mountains, marked for survival. One day, you might understand what we fight for isn't a few lichens, but the right to live. A right never handed to us, hidden deep in forests, in tough migrations, on Father's bleeding tail, and in my growing spine. Snow will stop. Sprouts will grow. But until then, we endure this long dark winter. No miracles. Only standing together, no retreat. Only instinct pushing forward. Nature is harsh, never promising tomorrow. Yet we choose to stay, not just to survive, but to leave a voice in this quiet forest. We were here. We refused to vanish. Whale fall nurtures life. My rich meat is my best gift to ocean life. My loss triggers a decades-long feast. I am a whale. Who once swam this ocean, breathe, bred. Now I offer life through death. Off Cape Peninsula in May, a wild storm raged. A stray ship passed by. Its heavy hull struck me hard. Pain came sharp and quick, like a sudden downpour. Then I passed out. When I woke, my body drifted mid-sea, numb and directionless. My chest caved in. Blood stopped flowing, but faint conscious echoes linger in the sea. Feeling cold creep over me, heavy, rich scent spreading far. Soon a shadow nears. A fierce great white circles me twice, then sinks teeth in. A strange peeling sensation. No anger, just deep relief. My flesh starts its proper journey. They love tender whale meat, turning it quickly into liver energy, stored up to survive long hunger ahead. I can even feel its fullness. It ate so much. Swims slowed down. Then blue sharks came. 1 2 10. Ocean scavengers. Allowed near only after the great white leaves. I thought death was lonely. Never expected such crowd. 10 days later. Flesh devoured clean. My body loses buoyancy, sinking out of control, slowly into deep blue, falling into unknown depths. Deep ocean has no light, No wind, water pressure. Wraps every inch of my skin, like a shroud from the sea. In total silence. It arrives. A blunt-nosed six-gill shark. Ancient beyond time. Heavy body. Silent eyes. As it strikes my body, with sacred greed. Biting deep every time. Tearing off bloody clouds. Staining dark seafloor red. Blood scent draws more six gills. Circling around me. Competing. Fighting. Silent. Just tearing and crashing. I feel consumed inch by inch. Death's truest feeling. And my final gift. A full day and night. They ate a third of me. As they leave. Skeleton shows. Flesh grows sparse. Next guests step up quietly. Spider crabs. Hagfish. Mantis shrimp. Nature's cleanup crew. No sharp teeth. No aggression. Just patient waiting. Waves of them. From cracks. Out of mud. Nibbling my last warmth. 2 months later. Teeth drop. Bones slowly collapse. 6 months later. Only white skeleton remains, yet even bare bones aren't forgotten. Bone-eating worms arrive. Too tiny to see. Secreting acid. Boring into bones. Extracting the last fat, as if pulling. Residual warmth from my memory, inside my body. Building a silent maze. Time ticks by. Bones shatter. Turn to dust. Fading into seabed silence. No epitaph. No tombstone. My life resets to zero, yet no sadness. For I know. Nothing was wasted. Not a single bite. From skin to spine. Flesh to fat. Breath to silence. Every inch of me. Fully embraced by this ocean. I am dead. Yet reborn in all things. Now. I am no longer me. I am fat in shark liver. Meat in crab claws. Nest for bone worms. Spark for deep-sea microbes. Maybe one day. My calcium turns to shell. Or blood flows into new veins. Whale fall is my final act. Nurturing life is my true home. Silently. I embrace the ocean again. Dying. To hatch the next generation. Is my unavoidable mission. Though my body is battered. Before my end comes. I must push with all my might. Back to where life began. Burying lineage in hot sand. Sand beach looks like dry marsh. Sun bakes my shell mercilessly. Tide has receded. Remains of piers lie in rocks. Dried up shells. Companions from last year's nesting. Body temperature rises. Death looms close. Sand cuts my skin. Dragging heavy body forward. Every step hurts. But I have no choice. For the babies. I must forge a path to tomorrow. By evening. I reach the nesting ground. White eggs. Drop into the nest I dug. A safe spot chosen with care. Nesting done, I'm spent. Trying to reach the sea. Strength fails me. Passing out. Waking again. Next morning. Blazing sun. Scorching my back. Stuck between rock crevices. Like prey awaiting slaughter. Humans say. Over 2,000 mothers die here yearly, and now. I might be one of them. Just as I almost gave up. I thought of her. The mother I never met. Did she give her all? On this hot sand for me. That moment. Tide rushes in. It's the ocean. Mother came to take me home, arriving before death. Gentle embrace. She didn't give up on me. I survived against odds. Maybe I'll meet my children in the vast sea. 8 weeks later. Sand comes alive. Thousands of hatchlings emerge. Life torrent rushing to sea. Just 7 centimeters each. Weak and alone. Yet driven by purpose. Born for the sea. written in their genes. No mother's guide. No peer protection. Relying on instinct alone, predators wait in ambush. Many caught upon emerging. Bones snapped instantly. Others, breaking free too late, missed the window. Every delay brings danger. A tiny hatchling lags behind, frail but unyielding, struggles out of sand. Caught by a ghost crab, seagull grabs a hatchling, drops it soon after, stomach already full. Packed with our siblings. It reaches the ocean finally. The moment water touches it, moves turn agile. 5 times faster than on land. But sea is no gentler. Blacktip reef shark lurks in shallow shadows. 6-foot body like looming death, swimming desperately to escape. Flipped by currents repeatedly. Never giving up. As shark strikes, a sudden current pushes it safe. Sea's first gift. In this vast ocean. The ocean's very first gift. In this vast sea. A hatchling's survival odds are 1 in 10,000. But if it makes it, that raven, they can live up to 80 years. In 30 years, they'll cross thousands of kilometers to the Coral Sea in Australia. Its seagrass meadows form a key carbon sink. He'll feed and grow here, learning to coexist with nature and survive. Now reach breeding age. He sets off again, returning to the Great Barrier Reef. The currents are swift, the journey long. He meets a mate along the way, joining tens of thousands of turtles in the world's largest nesting migration. But awaiting them isn't just the hope of new life. Tiger sharks lurk in these waters. This migration is their feast. He's been targeted. Exhausted as he is, every surface breath exposes him to deadly danger, but he doesn't flee this time. Turning slowly, he faces his foe, using his hard shell and agility to escape. Years of hardship taught him that sometimes facing fear is the best survival tactic. Tonight he successfully crawls ashore. For the first time, he steps onto his birthplace beach. This sand is where his mother left her tracks. Through the dark, he crawls slowly, each step a tribute and a continuation. He digs a suitable nest and buries over 100 eggs in warm sand. Everything comes full circle. On this beach, overnight, over 2 million eggs are buried. Few will survive the storms of fate to reach the sea. Yet each egg holds solemn hope. Rising global temperatures quietly alter their fate. Heat increases the proportion of female hatchlings. Many females may never reproduce in their lifetime, and this clutch may face the same destiny. Still, she fulfilled her mission, just as her mother did for her. In this river of life, struggle, death, continuation, repeating endlessly, every returning green turtle is a miracle, spending decades to complete one cycle, all to pass life to the next generation. It's not just a return, but nature's faith, motherhood's continuation, and life's ceaseless echo. As my towering frame collapsed, my era of dominance vanished. Snapped branches hit the ground, kicking up dirt and leaves. My final struggle against fate. Unwilling to just end like this, my fall reset this sleeping forest. Pressing the restart button. Once upon a time, my dense canopy blocked sunlight high above. Below was perpetual shade, a dead zone for growth. Countless seedlings sprouted at my feet, never getting a chance to grow. Until today, my fall broke through the canopy, letting light into the dormant soil. A rare rift in a century, an unmissable chance for life. Once I fell, the forest woke up. The long sleeping seeds seemed to catch a signal. Overnight, the earth stirred gently, as new life quietly broke through. No declaration of war, yet deadly peril everywhere. No smoke, yet every inch pressing for life. A race without a referee. Grow fast and live. Fall behind and lose that sunlight forever. A Swiss cheese plant rushed out first, spreading broad leaves, like shields, inching upward. In just days, it grew several times larger, shading its companions below. Sunlight was the only hope for survival. Devouring light, it devoured others' hope too. But the forest permits no single king. Companions quietly awoke, lacking strong trunks. They had clever mechanisms, tendrils gently probing the air. Touching a foothold, they coiled tightly, born without straight trunks. They climbed using anything in sight. The fiercest was a passion flower vine. Sensors in its tendrils sensed wind direction, light intensity, even rivals nearby. Needing no long accumulation, it just needed a path up to gain in days what takes trees years or decades. Clinging, rising, bypassing shade, catching light, a skill evolved over eons of harsh survival. Reaching the treetops, it basked in sunlight, blooming freely. Its rivals were no slackers either. On the other side, a young tree stood up, its leaves opening like palms. Broad, fragile, yet powerful, the ultimate photosynthesizer here, touching light. It rapidly fueled itself, shooting skyward, entering the vine's domain. The vine's tendrils sensed it, trying to cling and coil. They were repelled by dense prickly hairs. Those fine spines were its armor, its defense against fate. The vine struggled for a new hold, but found nowhere to grip. Seizing the chance, the tree surged up, breaking through into the open sky. Victory was decided. On the other side, where light barely reached, another contest played out silently. An evergreen ivy sprouted, denied sunlight from birth. It shifted strategy to actively chase light. The nearest sunlight was 50 meters away. To survive, it grew aerial roots, not digging into soil. They probed around for anchor points, bark, or another plant. Adaptable tendrils, like suckers or hooks, gripped every structure. Step by step it climbed. No miracles, only a longing for light. 50 meters. A chasm of fate and trial of will. Underground for water and nutrients, above for light and shade. Every inch gained meant another's retreat. Behind every green leaf lay withered remains in the dark. A year passed. The sunlit gap that was once mine was filled with new growth. Winners claimed their space. Losers became soil, fueling the next generation. The competition never stops. In this quiet forest, all life silently climbs, grows, invades, and fights back. They can't run or shout, yet in silent struggle, they match the fierce wild beasts. Sunlight favors no one, but every creature strives for that moment of light. They know, in this forest, an inch of light is an inch of life. Moving before the alpha's ritual, I was pinned down and disgraced by pack elders. The pack has rules, and the alpha is sole judge. My action was seen as open defiance. No room for defense, no mercy. The alpha banished me, forbidding my return forever. Just like that, I became a stray, a rebel in their eyes. I have golden eyes, an old female said. It was an alpha's sign, but fate favored me none. Testing the weight behind these eyes, even more harshly, leaving the pack that day, I headed west. No direction. No companions. Through woods. Across marshes. Covering over 200 kilometers in 5 days. Free air felt crisp, but bitingly cold. A lone wolf answers to no rules, but lacks the pack strength. Soon hunger pulled me back to reality, still learning to survive alone. I followed a scent of food, stalking quietly. Approaching, I found a badger, reeking with a foul stench. Even on an empty stomach, I couldn't stomach the odor, preferring hunger over this. Maybe it was pride. The last stubborn bit of wolf dignity. Giving up on eating, I pushed on. Then an adult red deer appeared, strong and huge. I watched from the bushes. Such prey takes a whole pack to hunt. But alone I had no choice. I pounced forward. The deer fled in panic, crashing into a man-made fence. A thud, and it went still. I walked up and found its body frozen on the ground. I froze. The predator killed it in seconds, leaving the prey behind. Was it just for the thrill? I didn't know why they hunted, nor did I care. I only knew the fresh carcass smelled tempting. Lowering my head to eat, that loud bang echoed again. I ran, not out of cowardice, but knowing I'd be next if I stayed. Starving for days. A wolf needs nearly 2 kilos of meat daily. I had nothing for days. Exhausted by hunger, I hid in the grass to sleep, hoping for food in my dreams. At dawn, I set off again. Damp mist filled the forest. I saw a brown bear feeding peacefully. Bears usually share prey with packs, but with a weak lone wolf, it wouldn't compromise. Still, I took a risk, rushing in to snatch a bite. But the bear's strength was overwhelming. After a brief tussle, outmatched, I fled. Failure didn't scare me, but every attempt drained my already fragile strength. The endless forest stretched on. Hungry, I trekked on. Nearby, a herd of wild horses galloped past. They recalled an old tale. An ancestor regained life. After following a wild herd, I trailed them, watching them cooperate, wolf or horse. Loners eventually break down. True survival is never a solo act. From then on, find a new pack to accept me. Seasons shifted to late autumn. I survived on stolen poultry and trash scavenged from bins. No one knew how I made it, but I did. And that was all that mattered. After running over 500 kilometers, I strayed into a Serbian reserve. The air was surreal and fresh. One morning, I caught a familiar scent, my own kind. I followed it until I saw a wolf pack. At that moment, tears almost welled up. I bowed in submission, approaching carefully. Their alpha recognized me, but swiftly rejected me. Limited territory meant more competition. I understood, yet felt disappointed. I had to keep wandering, but no longer aimlessly. By now I could hunt well. No feast, but enough to get by. After a quick meal, I headed west again. Autumn turned to winter. On a freezing day, I stood on a hill and howled, hoping for an echo in the snow. But wind blew and snow fell. The woods stayed silent. No response. Just then, a dark shadow swooped down. A raven circled and landed before me, chattering endlessly, as if speaking to me. Ignoring it at first, taking it for noise, it flew up the hill and back, signaling repeatedly. I got the message and followed. The raven led me to prey. A giant moose, glancing at it, then at the raven. You overestimate me. Clearly, a rookie hunter like me wasn't ready for a final boss. Realizing this, the raven, a massive bear carcass. I glanced at it, then at the raven, and shook my head. You overestimate me. Clearly, a novice hunter like me isn't ready for the final boss. Realizing this, the raven flew over the hill and showed me a few rabbits. Hunting rabbits is my specialty. After a few team-ups, the wind whipped through my matted fur. My mind flooded with memories. We finally had our first success. I tackled the rabbit, kicked back in surprise. Our teamwork was seamless, like two old partners in sync. From that moment on, he became my only companion. We were inseparable, a wolf and a raven, forming an unlikely bond. In this vast, endless forest, he handled scouting from above, while I ambushed from below. We weren't natural partners, yet fate worked its magic, forging an amazing harmony. He spotted prey for me, and I shared my kills with him, but not every hunt ended in success. When I felt utterly defeated, after repeated failures, he'd fly down to me and gently soothe my frustrated spirit, as if encouraging me, or perhaps scolding me. We didn't share words, but we understood each other. With his companionship, I finally survived my first winter away from the pack. As the snow melted, life began to bloom, and spring returned to the wild. It was time to continue my journey. We headed west, crossing Serbia's border, climbing Bosnia's mountains, over 1,000 kilometers long, and I never looked back. My paw pads calloused over, and I grew far leaner than when I left. But every single ambush, and every narrow escape, made me much calmer, and far more decisive. Arriving in Croatia, I learned all good things come to an end. Spring brought warmth, but also new possibilities. The raven found himself a new mate. One dusk, he perched on a branch, hesitating. As we gazed at each other, he said nothing, then finally flew away. I didn't try to keep him, just watched him vanish into the sunset. He never looked back either. I knew he wouldn't return. Once again, I was a lone traveler, but this time I wasn't lost. My body had adapted to wandering, and my heart no longer feared solitude. I headed northwest, into Slovenia. I still found no pack there, nor a cave to shelter in. So I pushed west once again. Passing by Italy's Tagliamento River, I met a female wolf. She was a wanderer too, roaming foreign woods alone like me. We looked at each other, yet neither dared stare too long. Between wolves, eye contact means provocation. I lowered my head, caught a fat fish from the river, and showed off my hunting skills, buying her trust with food. She accepted it. In that moment, two wandering souls found where they belonged. We hunted together and lived as one. Her scent gave me peace, while I shielded her from the storm. Weeks later, the raven, he landed on a branch with his new mate, as if to say goodbye, or to offer his blessing. Seeing an old friend, no words were needed. He soon flew away, and I pressed on with my mate. We crossed the Alps, passed the French border, and reached dense forests near Spain and Switzerland. Prey was rich here, woods lush, and climate pleasant. But a pack already claimed it. They had pups, territory, and a life to defend to the death. We only meant to stay the night, but as I stepped into sight, the alpha stepped forward without hesitation, growling menacingly. I squared my chest slowly, walking right up to him. We had no wish to fight, but in that tense standoff, noise echoed through the woods. Humans. They began a hunt with shotguns and hounds. The pack scattered in panic, but the alpha didn't back down. He charged straight toward the gunfire, perhaps to cover his pack's retreat, or sensing there was nowhere left to run. 2 gunshots rang through the forest, marking his final farewell. I fled frantically with my mate, a young pup trailing us quietly. It cowered, crawling before me. I recognized it as a lost, orphaned pup. It lowered its head and exposed its belly, offering me its submission. I hesitated a second, but couldn't bring myself to refuse. I knew the bitterness of wandering, and knew I had to end its loneliness. 3 wolves make a pack. In this new forest, we held together for the first time. Our voices echoed through the valley, as if announcing that we survived and would thrive again. From that moment, I was no longer a fugitive, but a leader. The journey ahead grew heavier, yet far more resolute. We crossed the Pyrenees, and finally reached Spain. Here humans were scarce, mountains high and woods deep, the ultimate stronghold for wild wolves. The next spring, my mate gave birth to our first litter. 7 new lives opened their eyes in the forest. They were the echo of all our endurance, flight and struggle. A reignited flame in those golden eyes. From Romania to Spain, 3,000 kilometers across 8 lands. I was once an exiled wanderer, but today, I stand as the Alpha, looking down at the mountains. Yet I know, being Alpha isn't a privilege, but a duty. I must lead them through drought, harsh cold, hunger and human guns. Teach them to spot danger and help them realize a lone wolf survives, but only the pack endures. I was once a banished lone wolf, but now, my paw prints are carved into this continent. Nature shows no mercy, only rules. Packs don't struggle for glory, nor receive help for suffering. Only by walking through deep solitude and pain, struggling on the brink of death, can one win a tiny place. On nature's grand stage, this is survival, even if exiled, rejected, or consumed. Life will always find a way, like sprouts pushing through snow, destined to bloom when spring arrives. To protect our hard-won food from theft, the Alpha charged at the brown bear without hesitation. He knew that prey was vital for our pack's survival. If the bear took it, endless starvation and freezing nights awaited us. Facing that massive beast, no one in the pack dared move. But as leader, he couldn't just watch our hope of survival get devoured. Gritting his teeth, he maneuvered around the bear, trying to drive it away. But a wolf is no match for a bear. With a single strike, the giant bear shattered his spine. I remember that moment. The light faded from his eyes. Those eyes that led me through blood and battles fell silent forever. In that instant, I knew I had lost my whole world. The pack left without hesitation, moving quickly. They chose a new leader. As if nothing had ever happened, I didn't blame them. On this land, life and death don't warrant many words, but I couldn't leave. My heart was pinned to this snowy ground. He was my lifelong mate, and the father of my unborn pups. By the 3rd day, the wind blew harder. The snow grew deeper, as if the world meant to bury me too. Yet in this dead of winter, I felt a faint movement deep inside me. It was life, the sign of my pups kicking, our unborn children calling to me. I understood. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to leave and find them a safe haven. This wasn't just to stay alive, but to keep his bloodline from ending in this winter. So I set off, a heavily pregnant wolf, traversing the endless snow alone. Behind me lay a shattered past. Ahead, an unknown fate. I had to cross the Dolomites, follow the Cheese Valley west, climb the Tyrolean mountains, and scale Gotthard Pass in Monte Rosa. I had to push forward and leave this territory, or a lone wolf would be killed without mercy. For 5 days, I crossed dozens of snowy peaks. Trekking 50 to 60 kilometers a day, I grew thinner and thinner, my breath shorter, my fur losing its sheen, my sharp claws worn down dull. I kept moving on instinct, gritting my teeth on pure willpower. My pups squirmed inside me, the sole purpose driving me forward. Half a month later, I arrived at the foot of Mont Blanc. Rain and thunder raged that night. I curled beneath a dead tree for shelter, through groans and shivers. I gave birth to 8 pups amid the storm, but 2 of them never even drew their first breath. Lying lifeless, to stop the scent from attracting predators, I swallowed them through tears, cruel yet unavoidable. The remaining 6 pups became my entire universe. Postpartum exhaustion kept me down 3 days, nursing them with what little milk I had. I chewed dead grass and dug up earthworms for food. I had to survive. They were too small, too fragile, and relied on me completely. But 3 weeks later I realized I had to make a choice again. Dang. Meant death. Venturing out for food might offer a slim chance of life. Just then a sharp rustle broke the silence. I leaped from the den, scouting the area. A lynx. A mother lynx had been watching from the shadows. She targeted my pups and my fragile home. Meanwhile, my most mischievous pup foolishly wandered out of the den at that moment, took wobbly steps, looking curiously at the world around it. I let out a growl, a mix of rage and terror. The lynx understood the threat in my voice and finally backed off, but I knew she'd return. In that moment, I smelled milk on her. Sensing the anxiety lingering on her body, we were both mothers, willing to give everything to keep our children alive. That mutual understanding is the deepest resonance in the wild. 2 months passed, and my pups grew day by day, learning to run and learning to play. Watching them chase shadows on the grass, a rare smile touched my face, but that joy was fleeting. Food grew scarce, my milk ran dry, and they couldn't hunt on their own yet. Once again we faced a life or death choice. I had no choice but to lead them in migration, targeting the Verkers Plateau and the Chartreuse Mountains. Leading the way, I cleared a path for my 6 young pups. Along the way we avoided potential pack patrol routes, as well as raptors and lynxes that might lurk in the valleys. The pups learned to stay silent,